What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I'm a top player in Risk Global Domination. I have a daily release on 2 YouTube channels. On Free Pete, which is over 16,000 subscribers, and on the Kill Pete strategy, which is over 106,000 subscribers on YouTube. I am remarkably blessed to be sitting in this seat in front of this microphone having this conversation. We are currently live on Twitch with some viewers. And I thought it was time to ask the question, if you could change anything about Risk, what would you change? So before I start, I just want to say the reason we're all sitting here having this conversation is because we love this game. I love the community that has sprung up around this game. I love competitive Risk. I love the tournament scene. I love the fact that this game has become my livelihood. And I want to start with a very positive message. And I love you guys. And all of my criticisms here are meant constructively to try and help bring this game that I love into its destiny, to help grow the community that I love. And with that in mind, we're going to look at absolutely everything we can think to look at in the Risk app today and talk about what's good, what's bad, and everything in between. I started a fresh account. This is General Suzuki 22424. I picked the lovely Russian blonde lady. Canadian flag because it auto-detects the country you're in. You can see that we're starting at novice with no rank points in either 1v1 or free-for-all. No hours played, no games. Okay, this is a brand new account. This is what a new player experiences when they start the game. Okay, so the first thing the new player is going to see this arrow drawing them towards battle. What happens when we click battle? We are forced into a tutorial. Lovely. Let's see what the tutorial has to teach us. You have no options to play, really, unless you complete all 6 tutorials in basic training to learn about the rules of Risk. You also have links to what looks like a YouTube video on the subject. Very interesting. I would love to discuss the YouTube videos as well. Should we take a quick look?
Hello, Generals, and welcome to...
I probably can't rebroadcast SMG's stuff. So, suffice to say, we'll just mute it. A quick little bit of it. This is what it looks like. These are their tutorials. They discuss, obviously, how to play and such, but I wouldn't presume to rebroadcast SMG stuff without their permission. So we're just going to go into the draft. This is basic training for draft. How do we draft, folks? Well, draft is the first step in Risk. Your objective is to attack your opponents to conquer every territory on the map. Yeah, that's how you win a game of Risk. Sure. How do we do that? Draft, attack, fortify. All right, so we're gonna go over this tutorial. Scroll or double click to zoom in. So you scroll with the wheel on the mouse, or you double click to zoom in. Okay. At the start of every turn, you receive troops to deploy. I am going to receive 10 troops, and I'm going to deploy them on that territory. Bingo. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to go to the next phase. Draft is the first phase of your turn. That phase is now over. Okay. I told you this is going to be painstaking. We're going to do it one by one. Okay? Attack step. This is how you attack. Use the blitz roll. So what is a blitz roll? A blitz roll is you take all of the troops and you roll them into your opponent's territory, conquering it. Don't make me laugh, Leonidas. We're busy doing an important overview of everything. Okay, this is how long this takes for new players. Now, if you're a new player, you might need this. Third tutorial, conquering continents. So there is a 3-territory continent here. And you can see that it is a continent. When you go to the left-hand side, the continent overlay is this button here. You see novice land worth +10. And we will attack Fort Dale. And we now control a +10 on a 1 point. So far, so good. Now we will learn how to fortify. So fortify is the 3rd stage of the turn. There's 3 stages: draft, attack, fortify. In order to fortify, we're going to fortify the 7 into the 9. You can see it's not going to let me do. You can fortify some amount or all of the amount. You can scroll with the mouse wheel. You can use numbers on the keyboard, or you can use the mouse itself to spin. All of these options are available to you. An option that isn't available to you is typing in a number, which might become relevant at larger numbers. Imagine how many new players want to play but end up quitting because of how boring the tutorial makes the game feel. Oh, just you wait. We will get into that one as well. All right, now let's talk about the cards. So you see how there is a green exclamation mark next to the set. That tells me that I have a trade. I'm going to click on the card menu. So I not only have a trade, which is defined as 3 of a kind, so 3 artillery, 3 cavalry, 3 infantry will make a trade. 1 of each makes a trade. Also notably, I have a joker. The joker will make a trade with any of the 3 fixed cards. 3 infantry is worth 4, 6 for 3 cavalry, 8 for 3 artillery, and 1 of each is worth 10. In progressive cards, they progress. Okay, there are 3 types. We're going over exactly what I said. Artillery, cavalry, and it's not letting me click through it. It should be letting me click through it, and cool. All right, so 1 of each gives us the best trade, and the +2. A lot of people don't actually know about this, so I get this question from time to time. There's a +2 on both. Why don't you get +2 on both? You get the +2 on the card that is on the left in the first position, so I can trade between Draftville and Attack Town if I want to decide which one gets the +2. Trading it in, I get the +2 over there. I place the troops down. What happens if I don't place them all? Can I place them somewhere else? No, I can't. Chess Squire says, oh, look at that. It doesn't force trade the Joker in the tutorial. All right. Tutorial number 6, manual dice. We have manual dice in Risk. Risk is a dice game. So there's 2 basic dice modes, either Blitz, so balance blitz, or true random. If you roll dice, you always get true random odds. You can control if you have at least 3 to attack. You can roll with 1, 2, or 3. You always get the best odds. Rolling 3, the only downside is if you win with 3 troops, you must advance at least 3 troops into the territory. We will tap the dice to do a manual roll, and we're going to say thank you to Noodle Boo for the 10 gifted subs. Thanks, man. We're doing a little deep dive in the Risk tutorial. So we get perfect dice here, and 1 more will do it. And that's that for the tutorial. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Of course, we manual to 24 versus 3. Oh, boy. So that's it for the tutorial. Then what happens? Well, we'd like to play Risk, right? We've leveled up to 1. We've unlocked the commander frame. We're going to equip the commander frame. Look at that. She's looking good. She's got that snazzy little frame on her. My purple blondie. General Suzuki 22424. We're going to claim those free 2 gems. Because why not? We're starting in the gem economy in the top right. Would you like the option to manual simulate dice? I mean, sometimes you just don't have enough time. Yes. Wouldn't it be lovely if instead of having to slow roll, we could fast roll? Pop, 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 pop. If I could blast manuals at lightning speed and then switch back to balance blitz, that would give me more strategic options. And as you guys will probably detect, a common theme for this video, more strategic options are a good thing. Lyxel says, now we can play ranked, right, Pete? Well, let's find out. If we go into battle, no. No friends allowed. Complete 3 more single-player games, not scenarios or tutorials to unlock. So, you might be saying, I don't want to play 3 single-player games. I want to play on the online. But I have a hack for you folks. Would you guys like to see the quickest possible settings for these 3 solo games? I will teach you how to blast right through them. Choose a map or scenario. We're going to choose the smallest map in the game, Simple World. We're going to go to 70% domination. And we're going to add blizzards. So these are the fewest possible territories. And then we're going to say fixed. We're going to say expert bot. We're going to add no bots. 3-player game. We're going to do 3 of these. Ideally, we're going to win in a couple of turns each. Okay, we are purple. Our stack is locked inside of itself. That's not ideal. When you're playing bots, thankfully, you have the option to speed through the AI's turn at the bottom. We're going to be doing that because we want to get through all 3 of these bot games as quickly as possible. So, oh, wait a minute. What was that? Why did my screen just jerk? Hold on. What happens if I click on... Oh, no! My entire screen just jerked. Okay, what is... Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting epilepsy. If if this happens to you, do not worry. You are not about to break your neck. Go to the top left, click on settings, and click this button. Camera animations, okay? This will be the single most important thing you do to your game of Risk. Okay, let's show again what the camera animations look like before we turn them off forever. The reason I'm recommending players turn off camera animations is these camera animations slow down your game. You will lose games of Risk consistently to these camera animations until you turn them off. I have absolutely no sense. Turn them off. Okay, I've stopped. I've absolutely no idea why you would design a system that would start newer players with a handicap. But the single most important thing we could possibly imagine seeing in this game would be the elimination of camera animations on as a default. Let me say that again. The single most important thing we can do to help the growth of the game and the community is to turn off camera animations as a default. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I feel like I have said it enough. If you want to make new players quit, make them not understand why they lost. I'm going to zip through these tutorials, so I want to get into some real games. Just got here. What's the easiest way to improve my game? Turn off camera animations in settings. I love it. I love it. You're my people, Twitch. You're my kind of people. Do we have the 70 here? Wait one more. Nah, we almost have it. I feel like I just need like a good roll. There it is. 100 kilobytes. When you make a new account, do you buy the game every time? No. You if you make a new account on your phone, you peg it to an email address, and you log in on your Steam account, you still get access to all the maps, all the premium, everything that I have. This is why you see I have access to that game, or that map rather, without having to buy it. Let's do one more. They won't get rid of the camera animations because they spent a lot of money on it. Yes, sunk cost fallacy. If you want to destroy your game, if you want to destroy the growth of your game, you want to make sure new players quit, hang on to that sunk cost fallacy. We spent a lot of money on these animations. It sure would be a shame to throw them away. Right? It sure would be a shame to admit that they're driving players away. How do I even get to magenta? Do I not win turn 2? But I like winning turn 2. I win a 7v6. Ooh, hello. There you have it, folks. That is the quickest way I've come up with to get through those 3 solo games. Pete needs a clickbait YouTube video. Risk noob to grandmaster in one day. Just explain the camera settings. Lol. Okay. We are now unlocked. We can move into ranked play. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go over everything. And I mean everything. So Starting with the top left, let's look at the menus. Starting with settings. Okay, you have these options in settings, starting with risk account. Don't think I'm supposed to show this screen, but I don't really care about this account. So you update account details, restore purchases, logout, delete account. That is all self-explanatory. We have language, sound, and notifications. Your language can be toggled amongst these languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, Turkish, Japanese? Is that Chinese or Japanese? Okay. The music exists. I have music off because I make YouTube and I experience spurious copyright claims on YouTube if I use any type of music. Silly Dragon Pete, how would you feel if 70% was 80 or 85? More options are better than less. I keep the sound effects fairly low. I like receiving game invitations. This means players can invite you to play with friends games. I think they're now called casual private. And we receive friend requests from all players, similar rank only or off. I'm happy to receive friend requests from all players. Your friend list is capped at 500. On my main account, I have to prune players off that list. Otherwise, SMG has explained to me that we can only have 500 risk friends. What's similar rank only? I assume that that would mean that you would have to be, if you're a grandmaster, that maybe you only get friend requests from other grandmasters or maybe masters, something like that. Okay. Profile. Let's take a look at the different things you can do with your profile, starting with the avatar. So they allowed me to pick between all of these avatars, which is quite a lot. These are the avatars I have access to. And that's great. Gives you a ton of variability. Is that a word? Variety, variability. And then you have all these fancy extra avatars that you can buy for certain amounts of gems. I like to play with simple avatars when I'm playing ranked because I always play in camouflage, and I don't want anything that I play as to be a tell to other players in the ranked game for them to think that, oh, this guy spent money on the game, I should focus on him. So the cosmetics are, in fact, a strategic detriment, in my opinion. More cosmetics. You can buy all sorts of frames for all sorts of gems. That's a whole lot of frames. Again, I like the simple premium, different types of premium, or the standard frame. Colors. You have orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, magenta, red as your non-premium colors, and then black and white are your premium colors. Just indicating that you have paid for premium. Yeah, no turquoise. There used to be turquoise. There was one brief shining moment in the sun where I got to play as my favorite color, turquoise. And we will shed a tear until that comes back. The dice. Would you look at this, folks? Look how many different options you could possibly have to roll the dice. Maybe that's why you don't want fast rolls. We want to look at these wonderful dice animations that slow down the game and slow down the gameplay and reduce strategic options. But they look cool. They're cool. Very cool. One of my very favorite things about the game is that Reginald and my kitty Gerald are immortalized in Risk dice. I would trade that for being able to fast roll. Avatar. Dice troop. You can change the troop. Look at all these different troops that you could buy. Would the game make money if it was 10 times larger? I don't know. Would some of that money offset the money lost by the cosmetics? We'll never know. Yeah. Finally, the emotes. Now, the emotes, I fully recommend buying all of, because the emotes actually have strategic utility, some more than others. Would you like to go over every single emote one by one and discuss their strategic utility? Seeing as how we're doing this, Let's do it. This is my favorite emote, probably. This is my single favorite emote, the robot dance. I use this one to indicate that I'm having a good time. There are 3 varieties of the fist bump emote. There's the pirate fist bump that goes, arr. There's the zombie fist bump that goes, arr. And then there's the human fist bump that goes, arr. Okay? All 3 of those fist bumps say the same thing. The message they are sending in a game is, you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. We have 2 surrender flags, dark skin surrender flag and light skin surrender flag. These don't actually send a terribly useful strategic message. They just say, I surrender. We have the dice crush. I never use this, but I assume it is to indicate that you are frustrated by your roll. We have another one of my very favorite emotes, the dabbing general. We see this general used in multiples of 69, 169, 420s, and numbers of that sort because we are children and we are playing a numbers game. This is another one of my favorites, the rock and roll. Zombie. I just like how it sounds. That brings us to crying robot. I don't ever use this because I don't like to indicate weakness. But from time to time, we have 2 other forms of surrender. We have the surrender helmet and the surrender dice box. I don't really ever use those. We have 2 forms of, hey, join the fight. The shaking gun and the shaking sword. Both of these are kind of meant to indicate you should hit him or do something. We have 3 varieties of I'm angry, general angry, Micah Fury, and this guy's on fire. And all 3 of those say the same sort of thing, and the thing they say is, God, we have this one. This one's kind of insulting. I tend to try not to insult with my emotes. This one I like to use. I wonder what you're trying to say. Right? Any sort of question. We like that. This one I never use. This is to indicate your pleasure or excitement, as is this one. Don't skip the general crying, very important. Yep, general crying is basically sending the same message as robot crying. We get the yippee, and we get the love. I love the loving robot. I'm all about the love, folks. We're trying to send lots of love out to all the people. Okay, we have the Australian turtle. This says, I'm going to hide in my hole, or you're going to hide in your hole. I use this one a lot, is the gravestone. This one, the way I use it is, you're dead, or I'm dead. I don't ever use these 2. The dynamite doesn't interest me. The angel dice, yeah, I mean, sometimes people have angel dice, but I don't need to draw attention to it. I do enjoy This Is Fine.
This is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
And the Laughing Cards Girl, very seldom will I use this, but sometimes. This is probably the single most insulting emote. I never use it. I'm, again, not trying to insult my opponents, and sends about the same message as this one. The Sleepy Dude says, I'm tired and or bored. This one is just Napoleon Wins is kind of another variety of Napoleon Fury. We have Sunglasses Dude with the pop collar. He's having a good time. And then we have 2 emotes I do use a ton of is the Laughing General. I use this one. This is my version of mean when someone messes up and I want to laugh at them and you ha 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 ha. And this one. Yeah. I like to use him. Send a certain kind of message. And that is all the emotes, folks. I do recommend buying all the emotes if you're going to play this game competitively. Sometimes there is no way to communicate without them. Okay. If you want to change your risk name, I think you're only able to change it once. So you would hit this button. Now you can toggle between your Steam name. If you want to change your risk name, go into Steam. Whatever your name is on Steam, you can make it this. Right now it's General MacDonald. It could be anything as long as it gets past the profanity filter. If you want to change your risk name officially, you can toggle through the pre-selected options, but you wouldn't be allowed, once you lock it in, you wouldn't be allowed to change it too often. So be careful when you go through this that you pick one you like, because you don't really get to change it a second time. Location flags, you get a ton. Some things are countries that aren't countries. Some things that get a flag that don't really have a flag, like Uncle Arctic. I don't really understand. I've often found that the unspecified flag, people using the unspecified flag, is also a bit of a tell. Apparently, if you are playing in Italy and you try and fly the flag of Italy, because the game is actually banned in Italy, it kicks you back to unspecified. So we can test this one out. Let's see if over the course of today I get this kicked back to unspecified. But I used to think anyone who was flying unspecified chose specifically unspecified. If we go to gameplay, you can see a bunch of options. Now, streamer mode anonymizes the name. So if you go back here, you see how now it says anonymous. Important to remember, if you click on streamer mode, your name does not appear as anonymous in the lobby. It just appears as anonymous to the stream or to the viewers if you're recording, or just to your own display. We can turn on the AI advisor and test that one out. The turn info notification, the phase change notification, the end phase confirmation. I'll show you what all of these look like in game. I like to leave the territory names on so I can refer to them and also so I can learn about the game. I like to leave the camera animations off because, as I said, this is the single most important thing you can do to speed up your game. The draft troops animation, find local games, the UI scale. Let's talk about the UI scale. So the UI scale is the size of the puck in the middle of your territory. Now, there are certain territories on certain maps, particularly with portals, that you need to actually turn the UI scale down in order to click. The alternative, if you want a larger UI scale, that is good for people like me who are making content, which helps folks who are maybe watching on their phone see the numbers. Colorblind mode I like to turn on. I like to turn the intensity to 0. What colorblind mode does is it gives each puck a different shape. So colorblind folks who might be watching can follow along. And then, of course, the screen resolution and the screen type I'm not going to mess with, but you can experiment with those options on your own time. Finally, help and support. You want to click on report a bug. This is how you do it. You can visit the help center. Learn about the credits. You can get in touch with SMG via X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebacks. I think it's time. Get into the game. All right, what is this here? So profile we saw, help we saw, credits, FAQ, and feedback. External link, okay. Privacy. Their privacy policy and quick game. Okay, what is this here? This is the leaderboard. Okay, let's talk about the ranking system. Risk has a ranking system. So currently it says that I am plus 999. How much harder would it be if we just had a number there? Whatever that number may be, if I'm 1 in 3 million, I would much rather know that than just say I'm not 1,000th on the leaderboard, therefore I might as well be a null value. That is a missed opportunity. But what else can I tell you? Well, look at the top 10. These are our top 10 players. The reason I am doing that in brackets is we had to actually go ahead and create our own ranking system because SMG was somewhere between unable and unwilling to create one that made any sense. So we, over at Friends of Risk, have created the Saber system. This is the actual top 10 in the game right now. Rated number 1 in the world, we have Arco. Number 2 is I Am Mamba. Number 3 is Silent Legend. I'm currently rated 4th. This rates your tournament performance rather than the SMG ranking system. Jax is 5th, Speedster 6th, Bart 7th, Noob 2.0 8th place, Lena Kitty at 9th, and Kilted 10th overall in the world. The Saber system generally considered to be imperfect, of course, but much, much more realistic than these people who are grinding iterations of the same settings over and over and over and over and over again to get to top 10. And that's not to take anything away from General Man, Barry Ban, and As Quince Bachta, Red Baron, Charlie Gomez, Emery Gibbles, Magnolia Emerson, Jimmy the Frosty, and Eddie the Sly. I don't know any of them. I haven't spoken with any of them. I think I do know Jimmy, actually. I might have spoken to Jimmy once. That tells you how much overlap there is between the guys at the top of the SMG leaderboard. Red Baron said, hey, Red Baron. All right, so we got two. I've actually spoken to Red Baron. Will you share with us what you play? Is it Europe Caps? I bet you it's Europe Caps, right? I don't ask you to tell on yourself if you don't want to tell on yourself. Sometimes the guys at the top of the leaderboard do want to keep their settings a secret. Does it all, man? Right on. Right on. I respect that. He plays Fixed Classic too. Okay, very cool. So, point being, we have a ranking system. It's like 80% meta with some slight variations, then some random stuff. Right on. Wonderful. Are you in the tournament scene? Are you going to be competing in this season's FFA? I hope you will. That's what I always want to see. I always want to see people. You see what happens? So that wasn't a bug. That gentleman who told me about the Italy flag was right. We set it to Italy and then we get bounced to unspecified. No way. Yeah, looking forward to everyone joining. Shout out to the Risk Discord tournament. I think it's stupid. It's because Risk is banned in Italy. I don't know. I'm going to switch the flag to something generic. I consider the United States flag actually to be the most generic, simply in the sense that it is the highest population of players. Hasbro doesn't have the license in Italy. Is that what it is? I was told it had something to do with their gambling laws, but in any effect, Escape says the real number one on the leaderboard should be 100% true random games. I hear you, Escape. We know what Escape the 4Z is all about. So battle points list, we can talk about it briefly. Battle points refers to a little bonus that you get for playing. And I think you cap out each day. So once I reach 1251 points, I'll get 20 gems and so on. So you get all of these additional things over time. And this is just free extra stuff that SMG gives you for playing. This is the premium indicator. So how do you get coins? I don't know. I bought premium one time, a long time ago. As far as spending money on the game, single best value you can possibly get. Buy premium. If you play enough, it's like a one-time fee. Pays for itself pretty much. This is your gems counter. This is how many of the in-game currency you have. Again, if you're playing on Steam, buying all of this stuff through your Steam account lets you transfer it through account, so it's more efficient than buying gems. If you buy a map once on your Steam account, you have it on all Risk accounts within that Steam account. This is your friends list. I don't have any friends yet. This is your friend ID. If you want to see where you are on that fancy leaderboard, there's actually a website you can go to. And this is the website for Pete. This is my main account. You go to that website. It shows you I've played one game this season. It says 17. Maybe I've played 17 games this season. In any effect, I'm at 26,092 skill points, which is just above the 26K threshold for Grandmaster, which will help me not decay out. And it gives you all sorts of stats. You go to hasbro.com/en/player/your friend ID. So that is your friend ID at the bottom right here. And you can look up your own account that way. All right, folks, it looks like it's time for battle. There's our dice. There's our troop. Let's talk about some gameplay. We're going to go into ranked. We're going to just join a random ranked lobby. I don't know what I feel like playing. I'm going to turn all my filters off. Just play something completely at random. Doesn't matter what it's going to be. I'm going to close my eyes. All right, we're going in. Looks like we're playing classic map. You can see at the bottom. Classic map, auto setup, progressive cards 60. And it looks like the host of this game would like to play a 3-player classic progressive. Very interesting. Wait, snipers. I don't care. Please snipe the hell out of this brand new account. I do not care. There's no protecting anyone from snipers. You have a ready up button. Okay, so if I do not hit this ready up button, what happens? Let's find out. Let's say I'm a new player. I don't know. I just missed the ready up button. What happens? Oh no! Too many players failed to confirm that they're ready. Bill Graff would like to be friends. Very interesting. So what happens to that game is the player who failed to confirm might start that game as a bot. Now, the player who hosted that game didn't want to play with two bots. He put one bot in the lobby. This seems like a fairly obvious design flaw with the lobby. If you were to design a lobby, you would want to design a lobby that would have all of the information available from the outside before you entered it, right? We would want to know the map. We'd want to know the mode, caps. We'd want to know fog, blizzards, portals, alliances. Why don't I see alliances here when I see alliances there? You'd want to know the timer, the auto, the expert, yes. The ranked, yes. The card type, yes. The dice, yes. What you don't know is you don't know the number of bots. I would like to know the number of bots I'm playing, and I would like that number of bots to be set. I don't want to play a game with more bots or less bots than I would choose. And then what you would do is you would consider that the act of entering the lobby be equivalent to the ready, such that we wouldn't have to click ready. So right now I'm going to be playing a game. It looks like a 6-player game. We hope everyone readies up. But imagine this didn't have to happen, right? Imagine the act of entering the lobby was as good as the ready. Game was canceled. Oh no! Unexpected colluder. All right, let's see if we can actually get a game to fire. So you guys can all snipe the heck out of me, but if you do, we're just going to keep sitting here. So how about you just let the Peatman play and live his best life? Let's go. All right, we're going in, folks. Clicked ready. How you doing, Mario Kasab? Okay, so we have a fancy draft animation that looked distracting. Is that the draft troops? That's the turn info. All right. So if we turn that off, our gameplay will be smoother. This is a fairly large UI scale. Okay, that still looks the same. What is that? Turn info notification, phase change animation. End phase confirmation I like. Territory names I like. Draft troops animation. What is that one? What is draft troops animation? Suspected colluder. Well, that most certainly is an interesting one. Watch out for the collusion. All right, so we are now in a game. I am playing as white in the third seat of 4. If you click on the dice icon in the top left, you will get to look at the settings. This is the thing I like to look at right away. So what are we playing? We're playing the mode is world domination. That means in order to win the game, you have to take all the territories. The map is classic. The setup is auto. The turn timer is 60. We have a medium automated bot if anyone disconnects. This is a ranked game. The cards are fixed. The dice are balance splits. It is open to players of all rank. Novice, Grandmaster, alliances are on. Fog, blizzards, portals are off. Okay, so you look at all this info and you get a lot of information right away. Now I'm playing as white. I'm not going to talk terribly much about the strategy of the game because that's literally every single other Risk video you guys see me play. But suffice it to say, I'm still going to try to play this game to win. Let's continue. You have a game ID. Each game has a specific game ID. This would be if you were to report this specific game. What else does the battle log tell you? The battle log tells you how many troops you've killed, how many troops you've lost. It tells you whose turn it is, how many troops they're generating. You can help see through the fog with that. Offered Purple an alliance such that they would let me out of South America, and it looks like Purple is not very good. So they're not going to move that 3. They're going to force me to hit it instead. Fair enough. Okay. So if we look at absolutely everything left to right, what do we see on the far left? We see the in-game settings. So why some settings are available to be changed outside of the lobby and why some are available to be changed inside, I will never know. But you can change the UI scale. You see how the pucks get larger and smaller. You can change the volume of the music. You can change all of these options. As always, folks, remember to turn off camera animations in settings. Okay, we have this. We have the question mark. So the question mark is, huh? What happens when I click it? Well, you get this. You get this big blue overlay. And this slows down gameplay in maps where you might have to click up in the top left. There's actually no good reason for this box to exist at all. And this question mark should be inside of this. So there should be one less box in the top left. And I would say put the question inside of the settings, obviously. That just seems like an obvious, easy. Leonidas says, I pressed that a lot accidentally. We all do. Okay, Purple is dumb, so obviously I'm going to smash him because I'm not actually playing this game with him. We could have been friends, but instead now I'm just going to ruin your game because I'm a vengeful person and I like to punish the evil doers. So the third box again in the battle log we've seen. So settings, question box, battle log. Good job, Perpy. And then this tells you the strength of your network. Cool. Good to know. Don't know that I need it there, but good to know. Moving from the top, we see nothing. One thing I would like to know, just for the purposes of making Risk television as I do, I'd like to know whose turn it is. The only indication of whose turn it is the fact that you see the purple player, the magenta player at the bottom, and the little arrow to the right of the magenta icon. We also see the timer bar at the top going. You can see it passing through the 60 seconds. When the timer bar gets to the last, say, 5 seconds, you start to hear the heartbeat. Folks on my YouTube have actually thought that I've added that, which is kind of cute. But no, that is just the in-game. What I would like to see is return to, if we are interested in competitive Risk, if we're interested in Risk from a content creation perspective, obviously I am interested in both. I'd like to know whose turn it is, and I'd like to know what the red player's name was. I don't want to see draft and attack in the middle. I want to see General Mugubble blubba bubble blub. I want to see benefits. I want to see benefits right here. And I don't think that's too much to ask because that's actually how it used to be. What else can we do? Can we click on our opponents? We can't see their stats because this is a ranked game. So you can't see stats in ranked. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good thing. I think having additional information on your opponents in ranked plays, probably a bad thing. However, there is an idiosyncrasy wherein you can't see your own stats. You can see all of your opponents, but you can't see your own stats in a Play with Friends game, which I do not understand. So I can see when I click on my opponents, I can see their flag, I can see their name, I can see their cosmetics. What else can I see? I can attempt to offer them an alliance. So I've offered Purple an alliance. They didn't accept. Magenta does. So alliances in Risk. What do alliances do? I think they're a bit of a misnomer. So do you see how here this is fogged out? But because I have an alliance with the magenta player, I have additional communication options. Now, when I click on these communication options, look what happens. I give Magenta player, thumbs up. I give him a heart. I can do other things. I can give him a thumbs down. I can say, I'm sorry I have to attack your territory. I can say attack red. I can say attack purple. I can say attack my territory if you need to. These additional means of communication are essential because Risk is a game of negotiation. So rather than calling the alliance feature alliances, I would suggest naming it differently. Maybe something like additional means of communication or something to that effect. Okay. Looks like we're almost set up for North America take. Nobody is in Africa. I just take my fourth card. In order to earn a card in Risk, you have to conquer at least one territory. You don't get additional cards. The only way you get additional cards is by killing a player. So there's two ways you get cards in Risk. One way is getting if you capture at least one territory in your turn, you pick up one card at the end of your turn. Purple definitely breaks if you ever take NA. Oh, don't you worry. Purple's going to get his. He could have allied me. He could have moved out of the way. Purple's taking the full suit. Don't you worry. The only other way you get cards is if you kill a player. If you kill a player, you take their cards. If you are holding 5 or more cards in your turn, you are forced to trade. You also get an additional 30 seconds on your timer. What do the cards do? The cards give you additional troops. Because we are playing fixed, as we said, 3 infantry worth 4, 3 cavalry worth 6, 3 artillery worth 8, and 1 of each worth 10. I do have a 10 set on 4. I will be trading it. Likely this turn. Looks like magenta and red are fighting to the death. Do we feel like pivoting to Australia? Well, red has a set. Do we feel like pivoting to Australia? Do we feel like smacking the crap out of purple? What's up, Prime Cock? First stream I've ever been. I have a simple question for you. What's the single biggest factor for growth? What type of growth? So why am I slidering? Well, in balanced blitz, there is a design flaw. We risk more troops than we would normally choose to risk in order to account for those 100% and 0% outcomes. So, I suicide into purple. Yeah, not great dice. But he doesn't have a set, so lol. Here's where we use that emote. I've got the game locked down. I need the personal. I don't know what we're talking about over there, guys. Trying to focus on this. So, I got bad dice. Now, it's a dice game. That sort of thing does happen. With true random dice, the other dice option, you can always slow roll, right? If you switch to manual dice, you can always slow roll at true random. But with balance splits, the expectation is that anything 15% and under rounds to 0, anything 85% and up rounds to 100%, and then things over 50%, you get a slight favorable advantage. Things under 50%, you get a slight disadvantage. But what happens with the use case for the slider? We should explain the slider before we utterly lose this game, and we're gonna lose this game to purple fairly soon. Well, red won Australia, so red probably wins this game. So in my opponent's turn, what else can I show you? I can show you the emote options, right? These are the things that you can say. You can say the dice hate me, thanks, oops, good game, victory, well played, good luck. Wouldn't it be great if you could say more? I agree. These are the base emotes. You have a smiley face, a crying face, a surprise face, a tongue out, an unhappy face, and a devil. I don't ever use the unhappy or the devil. The crying face for me is when I have to do something that I don't want to do. The surprise face for me is when an opponent is getting too strong and I want to indicate that people should pay attention to that. I don't use the tongue out because I feel it's insulting. I think it's unwise to insult your opponents. And the laughing out loud face is the one I use when I am just sincerely laughing. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you, so what does the slider do? So if I roll a 6-1, the maximum I should ever risk is 1 troop, really, right? Maybe 2, maybe 3 at the outset, but ever losing 4, 5, 6 troops should be impossible. But we see if we roll full stacks, 100 into 1, we might lose 4, we might lose 6. What we do here is we dial down to the minimum to make it 100% to take, right? 2 troops here, which is a 3-1, is 89% up at the top, but that's 100% roll. We do get it. We don't lose any. So that dice was normal. And let's see if old Perpy can kill me on a set. All you had to do was accept my alliance request. I wouldn't have had to pummel you so hard, but you know what? That's the game. We check our cards. We do not get a trade. So we're at least 2 turns away from setting. That might be the 2 turns required to lose this game. What else can I show you? Is Magenta back? No, Magenta is disconnected. So we have what bot type? We have an automated bot. Okay, so we have another thing we'd like to talk about, the automated bot. Having an automated bot in a game. The automated bot earns rank points based on the placement that bot earns. This is absolutely a design flaw. A player who disconnects should have 1, maybe 2 turns to reconnect. Not 10 minutes on the clock like for the neutral bot, and certainly not a blank check to quit in the 3-player scenario and be rewarded for it. I'm going to make myself another beverage, and I will return. All right, folks. Well, somehow, despite Purple's best efforts, I am still alive. I'm going to continue to play this game and pretend like he doesn't have a horrible vendetta against me. Okay, we were talking about the automated bot. So in my opinion, if a player disconnects, they should have a couple of turns at the most to get back in the game, after which time they should lock in whatever placement they are in at that point in time. Anything else creates a perverse incentive for a ranking system. Ideally, you want a ranking system that incentivizes playing to win games of risk. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of why the ranking system is broken and the way in which the ranking system is broken, because that is far outside of the capacity for me sitting in this chair to just show you in-game. William says, I wished Ranked would reward / punish game involvement. The player who caps stacks and does nothing but finishes second shouldn't be rewarded over the players who tried to win. Yes, there are all sorts of ways that we could evaluate a game of Risk. One of the ways, I have come to is the Saber system being, generally considered to be, at least amongst people who know what they're talking about, generally considered to be a lot more representative of skill in the game. Tanner would like to know, would you mind explaining attacker's advantage? Sure. I'm not going to do a great job of that because I'm not a math guy. But the way the Risk dice work are, I'll manual something. I'll show you as an example. How about we do this? So you attack. Should I just should I just sue into purple again? No, you know what? I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to leave him alone this time. So Risk dice attack in sets of. So I have 16 versus a 1. So I'm manual. He can only roll 1 to defend with. So 4, and it goes in highest pairs. So in this example, I'm going to be rolling into a 2. So Risk dice, I'm going to be rolling 3 into my opponent's 2. So you see highest pairs. Defender always wins in a tie. So 2 4s beat 2 4s. I'm just going to pretend like I'm not targeting purple. Let's see if he breaks me. And if he breaks me, I will turn my attention back around. So what does attacker's advantage mean? Attacker's advantage means that there is a slight edge to your dice in attack. There's like a 20% edge, let's say. So when you attack and Risk, with a normal probability distribution, can't believe he broke me. I'm shocked. I'm utterly shocked and appalled. How dare you break me, sir? Did Red accept my alliance? Come on, Red. Let's team on this guy. With a normal probability distribution, you would expect the attacker to win with about a 20% edge, assuming that you're rolling sets of 3 into 2, right? And anything else changes the math. Like 3s don't roll into 2s very well. You have very bad odds with that. So the last 3 troops on your territory, anything less than that changes that as a general rule. Unbalanced says, not sure if you want to say this on stream, but here it is. 3 attackers versus 2 defender dice situations, which is the case in large stacks. The attacker loses approximately 0.85 troops per defender troop. This is due to probability and statistics. Sure, so I was off. It's 15%, not 20. But thank you. And Matten says, thank you for the tutorial and the videos. First time in chat. Welcome, Matten. Seen many videos. They keep me entertained at work. I'm happy to do it, sir. I'm happy to do this right now because it's been a long time since we've done a deep dive into the mechanics of the game. I want to post this with an eye to paying attention to the things that could be improved. Let's talk more about the cards. So cards and Risk. Correspond to the board. So the deck for this board, there's 42 territories on the board. Each card corresponds to a territory. There's 1 Alaska, 1 Southern Europe, 1 Congo, etc. Plus 2 jokers. And every deck for every Risk board has exactly 2 jokers. You will get the +2. If I had a set here and I trade in, I would get the +2 for Alaska. If I controlled Alaska and Southern Europe, I would have to toggle between which one. If I had one of the jokers, the game might force me to trade one in. This is a vestige of fixed cards because it is trying to preserve the highest possible. It's trying to automate the highest possible trade, which is the 10, right? 1 of each. But in progressive, it is another design flaw because in progressive, anything that makes a set is good enough. And And you would definitely want to preserve your Joker. As Arkin says, why wouldn't you force trade a Joker? This is what I'm trying to say, Arkin. You wouldn't want to force trade a Joker because if you're on 4 or 5, getting rid of your Joker when you don't need to puts it back into the deck. Quaffles. I don't know if this one has been asked, but what are the specific advantages that caps give? I'm happy to talk about caps. Maybe we get into a caps game after this. I'm only familiar with caps in Lord of the Rings Risk, and they seem different. What I've seen on YouTube, sure. So caps do 3 things, okay? The capital is set at the beginning of the game, and it is the win condition of the mode. You do not have to win by taking all the territories like in World Dom. If you capture all the caps, you win the game after turn 3, right? The mode does not, caps mode doesn't activate until turn 3. Hey, beautiful, back at you, comment, milk. It does 2 other things. It generates 2 additional troops at the beginning of your turn. The third thing it does. The third thing it does, this poor guy, is it defends with 3 dice, assuming you have at least 3 troops on it. Please have a set. Punish me. I'm really annoying to purple. Please have a set and kill me. It's time to kill me and move on to another game. Now he's going to go around. He's not going to have enough troops. He can't even break me. Oh, poor Perpy. I got you, Perpy boy. Have you ever seen someone take all casts for turn 3 in 1v1s? In 1v1s, if it's just 2. Do you prefer fixed versus progressive? I used to be a prog guy. I kind of cut my teeth on World on Progressive. But as the years have gone by, I play everything now, pretty much. Thank you, football, for the prime. Thank you so much. Red's just kind of laughing. He's kind of waiting for mine and purple's war to finish, such that he completes his Australian turtle strategy and takes over the whole board. Oh, the bot broke me. Tragic. Tragedy, folks. I can't believe it. The bot, you see, the bot might get second, right? This is exactly what I'm saying. A player that disconnected multiple turns in the past should certainly not get second place this game. That is nothing more obvious than a design flaw. Little things like this, right, that we could tweak, we could work on. Ooh, let's see the Asia take for red. You got all the troops you need. %85 chance, folks. 85% chance, folks. Never tried 1v1s. Doesn't seem like it'd be very fun. They're not. 1v1s are a subset of the risk population. About 1/10 of risk people play 1v1. So they're a minor sort of afterthought. The only reason 1v1s were ever thought of as particularly skillful is 1v1s were the only way, really, to be top 100, top 10 on the risk leaderboard back when I came in, right? And I was instrumental in getting the 1v1 and the FFA leaderboard split. Notably, I was interested in just getting rid of 1v1s for ranked. I don't care about 1v1s. I don't think they're not risk, right? They are part of risk. But you know what? Some people like them. I'm not trying to take anything away from the people who do. I'm happy they have their little leaderboard over there, where they can pat themselves on the back and pretend that it's cool. But it's not particularly interesting to me. The game of Risk is a free-for-all game. The game of Risk is... The mechanics of Risk are relevant to 1v1s, but the game of Risk is much more about playing your opponent strategically. Red should kill purple here. Purple is also disconnected now after being... Yeah. All you had to do was ally me turn 1 and let me move my stack out of South America, and I wouldn't have been a thorn in your side the entire game. Now, does Red realize he's in a 1v1? So now we're in a 1v1 with 2 bots. The purple kill is on the table. Red should take it. And he does. Okay, good for Red. Red also didn't ally me. So it does actually look like Red gives the bot second. So just like I'm saying, this actually incentivizes me to disconnect here, which is pathetic, right? I don't want to disconnect to hopefully get a higher placement, right? That is incredibly lame. And again, it was something that I would consider to be a design flaw. I say, well, played a good game. He's going to smack the shit out of me, as he should. No, we're hitting the bot. We like that. We like to see that. Maybe Red doesn't realize they're in a 1v1. It's going to be hard to come back. Going to be hard to come back. 69 v 26. Okay, so what else can we talk about design-wise? Let's open up the floor, okay? Let's ask you all the question. If you could change anything about Risk, what would you change? StrikeX says, hey, Pete, I've been watching you on the YouTube end for quite a few months now. I enjoyed the game as a kid, and I thought it was a good way to learn how to get better. I finally ended up downloading the game, played a few matches, and I've determined that I'm not nearly as good as I thought I was. And the skill ceiling is ridiculously high, so props to you and your skill. Thank you, man. I wouldn't say it's ridiculously high, but it's probably higher than you thought it was, right? Okay, Unbalanced Split says, Caps Dice. Victor Slim says, fix the ranking system. Orion would like more alliance chat options. Doobie would like a faster Fortify wheel. Mamba says, I watch Pete on YouTube as well, and I'm definitely not as good as people say. Well, apparently, you're better than me, Mamba. How you doing tonight, man? Hey, Mamba. This is currently sitting at rank number 2 in the world. I am Mamba. What would be the number one thing you would change? Okay, so I'm going to disconnect from this game. Now, I hate quitters. So maybe I try and kill Magenta. Because I'm definitely guaranteed second here, right? So why don't I just earn that second? Help Red kill Magenta. Yeah, and Risk overall. The whole point of this show I'm doing right now is I'm taking a hyper analytical approach to every single possible thing I can point at and say, you know, what's the good, what's the bad, what could we design better? I led the show with the idea that the reason we're all sitting here having this conversation is we love Risk, we love the community. More modes comes to mind. Had a GPT to provide strategic advice during my turn. Where is the AI advisor? Is that not something I can toggle on in? I wish I had the AI advisor on right now. That would be fun. There's a lot, right? The incremental attack timer. Yes. Spectator mode. Yes. Are we killing Magenta and giving me second like a homie? Yeah. Well played, sir. Well played. All right. Kills should give some kind of rank points. Interesting. Yes. The people want lots of things. My humble opinion, number one most important thing could possibly do to improve the success of this game. Turn off camera animations forever. Alright. Thankfully, the player who bought it out, they did get a higher placement than purple, which sucks. Right? But thankfully, they do not get second. GG, 2 benefits. More modes would be cool. Mission Risk would be cool. Has anyone said sandbox mode yet? Giving us, in the competitive scene, the ability to fix spawn points, blizzard position, change bonus values, change the connectivity of the maps, all of that. Right? It would give us the ability to take the existing content and turn it into so much more. We could have fair, competitive Risk tournaments, right? Good game. Map creator. Voting for Blizzard or Portal location? Yes. All right, Mamba says spectator mode would be a great thing for expanding Risk to a larger audience. Network overhaul, I've been hearing about since I started playing. Camera animations being on by default suck. Bot outs in the ranking system should be immediate last place available after 3 or 5 turns. Sandbox for the ability to create actual balanced spawns. Allow for people to path zombie maps and recreate historic Risk moments. That's a few off the top of your head. It sounds like we're talking the same language, man. It really does. All right, folks, I'm going to get into defeating 2 beginners and losing to a beginner. I'm going to get into another game, but this time I'm going to hide the lobby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for game 2, let's see if we can pick apart the Risk meta settings. So what you just saw was a 4-player Classic Fix. Classic Fix was the former Risk meta settings, but the meta has shifted towards caps. The ranking system is fundamentally punishing at the top, which means that you have to play it very, very safe in order to get to the heights. One of the ways you do that is the capital. So this is a variant of the Risk meta settings. Europe! Advanced progressive capitals. I am playing a auto 90 setup with an expert automated bot. Alliances are on. Fog is on. Portals are on. Or sorry, no portals, but blizzards, yes. So alliances tell me a lot. And I want to see who wants to work with me. Because if anyone gives me vision, that will help me understand where people want to go and where to cap. I see the blue cap, I see the orange cap. Spain position is okay. This would be fine except blue's behind me. Italy I don't hate terribly. Let's try Italy. See how that cookie crumbles. I'll show you guys the settings to start. The mode is capital conquest. That means in order to win the game, you must take all the capitals. The map is Europe Advanced, which is, in my humble opinion, other than Classic, the coolest Risk map we've ever seen. Setup is auto. Turn timer is 90 seconds. AI difficulty is expert automated, so it's the same problem as last game. If a player disconnects, they will earn the placement their bot places. Cards are progressive, so different card type than last game. It's an open lobby, meaning players of all skill levels, novice, grandmaster, are allowed to play. Fog and blizzards are on, so fog turns off vision for any territory you don't touch, but alliances turn on vision for anyone you're allied with, which is why I can see the whole board. And then there's, yes, blizzards, which create different, part of why this map is amazing, right? The blizzards create different connectivity every time on this map. And then portals would open it. Portals are like the inverse of blizzards. Whereas blizzards choke off territories, portals connect them. And there's 2 portal types, but we haven't seen that yet. The only thing I'd really say about portals is, the fix for portals is you want to make it clickable. Or you want to fix the UI scale problem. All right, almost all of my allies have allied me, so I'm just going to take Italy turn 1 and chill. We see everyone's capital. The only player who didn't ally me is Magenta. Yeah. And Orange takes France turn 1. Why is the battle log still marked beta? It drives me crazy. What do you mean? Up here it says beta? Yeah, I had never noticed that. Very interesting. I've never noticed that, man. All right. Italy start is fine as long as the player in France doesn't break me. So, all sorts of things we could do with alliances. We could add more options. So the alliance menu, as I said, right, doesn't obligate you to anything rules-wise, but it does give you an additional 9 communication options. So kind of a misnomer. Maybe you would want to call it additional comms or something. Negotiation options, something like that. But it basically just says, if I'm talking to blue, it would say, I'm sorry I have to attack your territory, and I am purple. I would say attack orange, attack magenta, attack red, attack green. Attack my territory if you have to, and then thumbs up, thumbs down, and heart. And of course, that is in addition to the comms options here, which are kind of set. Good luck, well played, victory, good game, oops, thanks. And the dice hate me, I would say. Obviously, we want more communication rather than less. RC Gene says, I would add a trust-like factor system to Risk, where if you constantly rage slam, it would identify that and put you in games with people who also do that, like a matchmaking. Yeah, we do need skill-based matchmaking. Steph Co would like to hear the 3 rules of cap. Sure, I have 3 rules for capital conquest, and those 3 rules are: don't cap in corners, like blue did. Don't cap in Iceland, which nobody did. And put troops on your capital. So far, we see green took a risky play in the ultimate seat, capping on a 1. Someone could have rolled them. No one did. Looks like green survives. This one's going to be a lot more negotiated because alliances are on. So we're seeing progressive capitals, but in a negotiated way. Green fails to take Russia. How you doing, Mando man? Seethix says the 3 rules: cap in Iceland, cap in Sevastopol, neighbor cap. Okay. Seethix's rules of caps are different than mine, I suppose. Okay, what can we talk about that I haven't already? Because I feel like I have a ton to say. And I do want to get to it. Yeah. Not surprised that blue just breaks. Poor red. Poor red has no action back there. And this is orange taking Spain now. Very surprised no one's in noob corner. And we hold Italy. Sweet. So we put some troops on our capital. Get a couple of chips at North Africa. It's like a claim. It's like, I'm going to take this. So if y'all want to use it, get your troops out. You know, use your troops. But I'm sort of claiming a second bonus. Can random blizzard spawns touch adjacently? Yes. You can see pretty much any blizzard config. It wouldn't shock me. The only thing you can't see with a blizzard config is you can't see blizzards completely lock off a section of the board. You can't see the board completely split in two, unless there's a stable portal to connect them. With the amount of folks who Iceland cap, it's worth repeating twice. I say it every time. I am unrelenting on my saying of stuff. Also notably, you can see only one player has an allied me, the magenta player. So their territories are in fog. And it doesn't look like they're keeping any caps. Sorry, keeping any troops on their capital. Does this revenge on blue? Yeah, well, blue's capped in a corner. So this is red saying, I'm never letting you out of your corner. You go die in your hole. I like that for red. I like that a lot. Green finishes Russia. Always force trade the Joker. Right. Well, let's see if that one comes up. So the magenta cap, this is a bad play by green because the magenta cap is behind him. So there's only one way for magenta to go, which is into the green cap. So magenta and green are natural enemies. And if magenta gets picked out of the exterior, green's in big trouble. Who do we think wins between green and magenta? Yeah. Magenta probably, because he's got the bonus. So I'm expecting to see orange now go into noob corner. Because he's got 2 free bonuses behind his capital where nobody is. Maybe he goes North African, but I see that as less likely. I don't see him pissing me off. Why is Magenta not accepting alliance? Usually, I think players who don't accept alliances is a tell that they're new or bad or both. Right? I expect that anyone reasonably good accepts an alliance request. In this mode, because of the vision, notwithstanding, right? You definitely want the communication options, but more importantly, you want the vision. Red Baron says, why do I need to put troops on my cap? Can't I discard it with a big stack? Yeah, this is what I expected Orange to do. So Orange is playing a classic greedy open, which we're going to allow. We're not going to mess with. He's a better friend than an enemy. In Fog, should you not accept alliances? No. I mean, in Fog, you should just not. If you want Fog, you should just not play with alliances. See how I'm sliding to 100% to take? This is what I was talking about earlier. It's a loss mitigation play. And it could just very easily either be fixed with repairing the dice algorithm or setting the default of the slider to be 100% to take. Because having that dexterity element in a strategy game is a non-strategic choice. You would always make that choice, right? It's not a very interesting decision. It's not a strategic decision. It's just a matter of, do I have enough time to manipulate this clicking element? Yeah, this is how Magenta wins against Green. Magenta will pressure Green and then eventually steal their capital. Red Baron says, I was thinking a quick explanation of the defensive bonus of the cap. Great, 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 great. So, why do I recommend putting troops on your capital? Putting troops on your capital is important because the cap defends with 3 dice instead of 2. So, we already know that risk dice win in a tie. The defender wins in a tie. So having rolls of 3v2, there's an attacker's advantage. Now, having rolls of 3v3 inverts that. And you need like 1.7 to 2x to take in order to roll a capital. So you're usually going to see a 12 cap be safe until someone has like an army of 24. I think I'm natural enemies with Orange unless we can start trading somewhere. I don't know that he wants to break me, but if Orange blindsides me, I can't recover. At least not unless the table teams on him. But if the table sees him starting to aggress his neighbor, perhaps they will also be scared that they're next. This is a great move by Green. It's a little too late trying to remove Magenta from back there because Magenta still gets +3. So we have 2 corner cappers, right? We have the Magenta corner capper, we have the blue corner capper. Green is still kind of in an edge. Trade with red. Well, what I want to do is I want to hit here, and I want to open the orange cap to the midboard. And we'll see which way Orange takes this, because Orange could take this any number of ways now. Right? It looks like they want to be cool with me, which I like, obviously. We like this a lot. Yeah, this is great for us. He takes Germany except for Denmark. We just put all our troops on cap. This doesn't necessarily offend red because red is holding 2 bonuses. And Magenta breaks the 5. Do they have enough troops to get to the 8 cap? They don't need to. Yeah. So far, so good. Looks like Orange wins from the open. You're doing watchful. I'm a fairly new viewer, and I was just wondering, when you say progressive capitals in funny voice, why you say progressive capitals in funny voice? Because I'm a showman. I'm very interested in making a show that you guys like. One of the things I've learned from entertainment is repeating something enough makes it memorable. So at the beginning, I was just like, these are the risk meta settings, or these are Europe caps. But then I was like, Europe advanced progressive capitals. I was like, yes, that's a hook. What are your thoughts on wine? Why do you have to whine about it? Why can't you just ask calmly? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't drink wine. Okay, Magenta accepts. Magenta's in a single position. If they aren't clever, they get card blocked against the green capital. So one thing green could do is that, green could take a card and then stack on their cap. Right. And then Magenta might not be able to get any future cards, so they are punished for capping a corner. Hey, we got Olive with the raid from Risk Grandmaster. Olive XC, hello. Thank you, Raiders. Welcome in. We're doing a little theory crafting, Olive and Olive Raiders. The question I'm asking with this stream is, if you could change something about the game of Risk, what would you change? Good play by Orange. Orange is banking. Orange is banking their early troop generation. Blue asked me to do Red a favor. I have no interest in helping out Blue. You're dumb and you capped in a corner. If any of the Olive Raiders have something in mind, I'd be interested to hear it. Magenta should really roll the green cap now or they never will. Because green's going to set on 4 and then you're locked in a pocket. I'd roll it. I'd roll 21v12. Now you get no cards. Now what? You think green's going to trade with you? You're an asshole. Hello, Salah Malas. I would make the colors a little less saturated, slightly more pastel. The colors. The biggest question in Risk? I've answered that one, Arkin. Not me. Not my flavor. There should be an option for an auto move all troops when attacking territory, like holding shift example. Yeah, some way to fortify larger amounts of troops, particularly in these settings, right? When the caps can get hundreds or thousands of troops on it. Red takes a 5th card. I don't have quite as many troops as Orange, but I'm close. Yeah, green is laughing now, because while they don't have a bonus, they have Magenta locked behind them. Let you type to see how many you want to fortify. You see, stuff like that would just be lovely, wouldn't it? Little quality of life improvements that would go so far. I forget that the orange cap is actually open. The orange cap is open this way. Orange can... Ooh, that's so spicy. Kill green, set kill magenta, maybe? Expensive, but fun. Blue only now realizes that he's dumb and he capped in a corner. Smell you later, Blue. Overkill says, I would like to add a time limit. Time limit would be interesting. More modes are better than less, right? Having a time limit, having the ability to say this game will end hard stop at 2 hours or whatever. Take Australia out of class, man. What's your beef with Australia, No Name? Yeah, and we are losing Blue. All right, Blue's disconnected. Now he's an automated bot, so Red's going to win that pocket. Does Orange take... here's the Betrayer. We were waiting for it. It was inevitable, and it did come eventually. I'm very sad about the betrayal. My feelings hurt horribly. My feelings, though, those were my feelings. How could you? I'm asking Red to open me so I can punch the crap out of Orange. Let's see if he listens. All right, he opened me. Now we're talking. Red's going to get the blue kill. Okay, 31 for orange. He can't help himself. Orange is the type of player who likes to piss off multiple people at the same time. Ooh. We both get ones. Okay, I break everything he has. But he's got a 92 cap. I'll throw a heart to red. I don't understand that play, right? Because all that does is convince me in red to hit this guy. Why did you switch to slow roll there? I didn't. Oh, I did. Yeah, 2v1? Okay, so switching to slow roll on the 2v1 is because balance splits is a negative for 2v1. So balance splits is negative for anything 50% and under 50%. Yeah, I didn't even know I did it. It's such an automatic response. Don't blitz 2v1s if you have the time. Switch to manual. You get slightly better dice odds. Yeah, me and red focus orange. Orange betrayed me there was dumb and bad play. I'm surprised. I expected better. Perhaps he's just used to bullying people around. Green sets. Does green go into the pocket? This is where green kills magenta dead. Don't cap in corners, folks. Both players who did are now deceased. Yeah, 2v1 is 41% manual and 36% balance splits. So as I said, folks, right, what did I say? Don't cap in corners. We've lost both players who have. We're in a 4-player game. Green is massive. Orange pissed everyone off. I'm in the middle, which could be good. Nathaniel says, might be a me thing, but I dislike doing slow rolls. Takes extra time doing to the animation. Can be costly when making kills in time crunch. Yes. Wouldn't it be great if you could fast roll? Does Orange want to leave me with anything? Right? Does Orange have any sense of diplomacy? Doesn't look like it. Okay, he wants me to. Cool. This is extremely effective alliance use by me and red. Red Baron says, I don't think orange going into you was a bad move, but going to red 2 screwed him up. Well, I mean, alliances are on, so, you know. What, did he think I wasn't going to try to work with red? Obviously. Fuck him up. No, I'm lying to orange. I have no intention of upholding any alliance. Surprised orange didn't go for the green kill. Yeah, well, the green kill is 43 for 3. What's the set? If I had cards? Ooh, I don't have cards. This kills me. Having no set here kills me. Damn, I'd die. Otherwise, I would be okay and I'd stabilize. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. So close. Huh. It's not true random, is it? No, this is balanced blitz, folks. Be very surprised if I survive here. Don't think I do. Green's cap sucks too. Green kind of capped in a corner as well. You can card block green on a single territory. So if me and red successfully team orange, green goes next. But I think I die. I die on 5. Unfortunately. Maybe orange sucks. He doesn't kill me. Or maybe he gets a bad roll. So the way the cards work, folks, in progressive, you see how the sets are progressing in value over time. Now up by 5 each turn. One way to avoid the cap cellmates that people are talking about is you could have a mode of progressive where they, instead of progressing by 5 troops a turn, they progress as a percentage. So kills stay viable. I would call it something like super progressive. There would also be a way to do semi-fixed. Different card options would be cool, in addition to different game modes. Nathaniel says, the amount of variance in caps, dice, and balance splits is quite frankly ridiculous. Balance splits indeed. Well, okay, so seeing as how we're talking about the dice, balance splits is broken. Okay? The dice odds in balance splits are inarguably broken. It's not a debate. If you see positive rolls at higher and higher numbers in balance splits, there's no way it would ever be possible. You know, like 1 in quintillion, 1 in septillion odds, you know, something for a cap to go positive after 1,000 troops. Pete, the answer to the stream's title, I have ideas on how the math could be done. Sure. I would love it if they would have a more sort of dedicated system to take the community's advice. Let us work for free. We are going to. You see, when Red Baron says, I didn't think that Orange made a bad decision, it's like, well, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good for Orange. I think your point about them going to red as well. Picking a fight with 2 players, always a mistake. Wars and Risk are best won one at a time. So watch out for that. It was not a bad decision in a fall game. Pete, why do I have 58 followers on Twitters and they're all bots pretending to be pretty ladies? You tell me. Okay, green goes into red now, giving red a problem. Maybe green's a secret homie of orange. No, he steals that cap. This is classic noob play, right? Nobody else can have bonuses but me. And I die. Bad roll, bad roll, bad roll, bad roll, bad roll. Not 100%. I gets a good roll. And that's the game for the Peatman, right? As I said, if I went to 5 there, I lose the game. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So, what else can we talk about? So there's currently, yeah, what a shocker, nobody was any good. There are currently 5 modes in this game. Okay, let's try and make a game. Let me talk about what that looks like. So we go into ranked FFA, we go to battle, and we go to create. So if you see, you have a lot of maps. I have every map, so we have a massive map here. I guess they don't port over for whatever reason from my Steam account. I was told they did, but apparently they don't. I don't know. What if I go to restore purchases? Unable to restore purchases at this time. Okay. Well, ostensibly, I have all the maps on my Steam account. So if we go to create a game, let me show you what the process looks like. There isn't a way to search through these maps quickly. So it would be cool if there was a way to type that out. But let's say we want to play a map. We want to play a map on. We want to play a game on Mont Saint Michel. Mont Saint Michel, 5 modes. World Domination we saw. That's where you have to conquer every territory. Speed Blitz, where the game ends in 5 turns. This is the least played mode. We've really desperately tried to figure out how to do it competitively, and shout out to Nathaniel for his hard work in that regard. 70% domination, control a 70% majority of territories to win for quicker games. Zombie Apocalypse, which is a luckfest in the open, and then a fairly interesting, suspenseful hunting cat and mouse game. Caps, as you just saw. These are the 5 modes. More modes would be cool. Mission risk, right? Additional means of victory. All of that would be cool. The modifiers, blizzards, fog, portals, putting these behind a paywall. Interesting choice. Directly contributing to zombies being no longer really seen as much in the ranking system compared to Caps, right? Caps is not behind the premium paywall, I'm pretty sure, but zombies is. Only 2 card types, fixed and progressive, as I said. Maybe a semi-fixed or a super progressive. 3 types of placement, very cool. The semi-auto placement we're not seeing a lot of, but I'm glad it's there. So auto placement describes everything about the setup is automated, random chance. Semi-auto selects the territories at random, and then you place your troops. Manual placement, everything's placed manually. I would suggest if you have manual placement, regardless of what the turn timer is, you dial that down, because you definitely don't want a 3-minute turn timer for everyone to pick one territory. That would just take forever. So little tweaks like that. AI difficulties. There's a lot of conversation about the bot being shitty. My tinfoil hat theory is that players don't actually want a good risk AI, because all risk games tend towards stalemate. And risk AI playing optimally against another risk AI would just stalemate the game infinitely in almost every mode. We have a number of different turn timers starting at 60 seconds. Some players want less than that. Me personally, I would like to see a dynamic timer where maybe you start with 60 seconds, but you get additional time when you take a game action. So you have 60, 90, 120, 3-minute, 5-minute, and we don't see the 8-minute. So I don't see the 8-minute timer. Did they take it away? Where did it go? Alliance option, alliance on or off. Rank filtering, so you can filter out players. I can only filter max rank because this account is currently novice, so I can filter out players and then the bot activity, right? So we saw 2 games of automated. What a neutral AI does, there's a couple of design flaws with the neutral AI that we might as well talk about, considering we're talking about literally every design flaw in the game. The neutral AI has 2 main design flaws to it. Neutral AI is better in general than automated. The negatives are the lobby. If a player fails to ready, which if the lobby is redesigned the way I suggested, this wouldn't be a problem, but in the current system, if a player fails to ready, you have a stacker bot that acts as a pseudo blizzard, right? In the event of neutral bot, players failing to ready, either you start the game with an automated bot, or you, in my opinion, refire the lobby, right? Go back to the lobby and let's get a game with real players. I don't want to play with neutral bots right from the get-go. That's not the type of game I wanted to set up. Alex says, I heard the developer said they intentionally kept the bot somewhat dumb so players wouldn't bot out to win even more. Well, they could fix that on a design level, but this is what we were talking about. And yeah, the dice rolls. So true random, we do still see the dice odds be truncated. I assume this is for speed. So we see caps are still broken even in true random, but they're even more broken in balance splits. And speaking of speed, obviously there's a speed gap between PC and mobile. PC is a faster platform. Turn off camera animations and settings. If you want the absolute fastest gameplay, you want to play with the highest refresh rate on your screen on PC. But realistically, removing speed gaps on both platforms, PC and mobile, would be the way I would recommend moving forward, because it would be way better to free us to move as fast as we can think as players. I have said an absolute ton. This is the store. If you want to spend money on SMG's game and reward them for all of their hard work, this is how you do it. I want to end the stream with some more positivity, right? The reason we are all sitting here, because we love this game. We love this community. We want to see this game grow. We want to see this game succeed. We seem to have a fundamentally different opinion with the devs. My theory here is that they would be wise to pay people who play this game at the highest level to consult for them on a design basis, with the aim of making the game better and making everyone a whole lot more money. If this game was 10 times larger, 100 times larger, we wouldn't need to worry about selling dice skins, troop skins, avatars. Right? So the way the game is currently monetized is directly antagonistic with the growth of the game. And everything I've suggested are very simple tweaks. And I would love to suggest more. But I've now done almost 2 hours on the subject. And it's not that I'm trying to get paid for my ideas. My ideas are free. I give them out every second of every day when I'm on. You guys hear me talk forever. It's because I would like to be heard. And it's because I would like this game to be successful. Because I love it. And I love you. And that's how I'm going to end this video. I love you folks. If you could change anything about Risk, what would you change? The number one thing, let us work for you. However you choose. I do not begrudge any business for deciding how to make money. It is not up to us. Let us work for you. We love your game. We would do it for free. Because we have been. Look at what we've built. I love you folks. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, for all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck.